From elementary through high school, we get a lot of opportunities to learn about the history of our communities. Javier, do you remember any tidbits from back then?
I do. I remember learning about the mounds, and that was always cool. I loved that, especially when we got to visit them.
Wow, that sounds great. But you know, it gets harder to keep up with that kind of history after high school. So places like the Ohio History Connection are really important. They maintain historical items and buildings, and they engage with communities on continued research and preservation.
We wanted to spend some time with the Ohio History Connection to learn more about their role in preserving Ohio's history. Architectural historian Jeff Darby had a chance to tour their headquarters to find out more.
This is 17th Avenue where the State Fairgrounds are, and a lot of people go on the freeway and see this big brown building and wonder what that is. It is the History Center. It's an interesting place, both in its architectural design, which is not what you'd expect from a historical organization, and in the way it was built. And I am looking forward to learning a lot more about it. Hi, Barb.
Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the Ohio History Center.
Well, thank you. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, so Ohio History Center, it's the Ohio History Connection's home.
Yes, it is.
Tell me more about the organization. It goes back a long way, I think.
It certainly does. The organization was founded in 1885, and then it was called the Ohio Archaeological and Historical Society. And in fact, it didn't actually have a home of its own until the early 20th century, when Sullivan Hall was built on the Ohio State University campus at 15th and High Street, and that became the first home for the Ohio History Museum, and it was a library. And then later in the 20s, the state allocated and appointed it to be the recipient of state records from state agencies. And then in 1957 actually was when it became the official state archives facility. And at that time, that function of the organization was housed in what's now the Columbus Foundation, but it was the former governor's residence on East Broad Street.
You would expect a historical organization to stay in a historic building, but that's not exactly what happened.
The Board of Trustees and the Director Porter, in designing and envisioning the building that we're in now, wanted a modern, inspiring building that didn't compete with the collections that were housed and on display in the building.
It opened in 1970, right?
Yes, it did,
okay.
yes.
And so everybody moved from the two locations into the one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I guess there's a lot to see. Maybe we should get started.
Yes, indeed. We have a lot to show you in our iconic building.
Lead the way.
Okay, this way.
Oh, yes. Oh. I've been here many times, boy. It's almost like the first time every time. It's such an amazing place. And there's the Mastodon.
Yes,
now you know you've arrived at the History Center.
Indeed. This space is actually our largest space in the building. This museum floor stretches out for 3.5 acres, and it is laid out in a triangular shape, which was purposeful to identify and hearken to the three major areas of studies, and that of course is natural history with the Mastodon, archaeology, prehistory, and then Ohio's history. We do have a wealth of collections that we have on display here in all the galleries that stretch out from this main centerpiece of the museum floor.
So let's talk more about the sort of the concept of the building and how it was arranged in the mind of the architect.
Yes, Byron Ireland, who was the architect for the building, he talked about this design being really two separate buildings but connected through the plaza level. So his design was a monumental modern building that incorporated the primary functions of the Ohio History Connection at that time, which of course was the museum and then the archives library.
Talk a little bit more about how the structure was all put together.
This building was completely poured concrete, and in fact, it was all formed on site. So there's no prefabricated slabs. All 21,000 cubic yards of concrete were brought to the site and poured into forms that then created the building's walls and structure. All the walls are what's called board-formed concrete. They were lined with 2x4 rough-faced wood boards. So when the concrete cured, hardened, and the boards were taken away, the dimension of the wood, the grain, knot, holes, and all were left imprinted into the concrete surface. And that was intentional in part also to give some human scale and some warmth and texture to what otherwise is just massive expanses of concrete. And it complements some of the other natural materials that were used in this building. All the wood in the building is natural finished oak wood, and then also it's complemented by the terrazzo flooring we see here, and then of course large expanses of glass. So the construction technique was novel at the time and certainly was talked about and considered to be highly innovative at the time.
Well, I think I'm ready to see more if you're ready to show me.
Okay, let's go.
After you.
Here is where we see the massive concrete block, 196 feet square, and it is cantilevered, meaning, like my arm, it's supported only on one end. It's cantilevered on all four sides 40 feet, and that was one of the largest cantilevered spans tried to date when this building was constructed. So how is it standing? And I might add, yes, the Archives Library Reading Room is what is suspended above us, basically over open space.
Okay, now explain that.
Okay, I have a great demonstration, Jeff, to help explain this. I just happen to have a rubber band with me.
Okay.
So these rubber bands serve as that cabling that is laid within the concrete wall beams. And if our hands are the beams and the cable is laid in it, as you make a fist, that's the concrete of the beams hardening and then pulling. The hydraulic jacks were then used to tighten the cabling as the concrete walls cured and hardened, and that is the post-tension construction and post-tension mechanism that is allowing the building to stand up. And in fact, I have a good story to tell. Peter Korda of Korda Engineering, he was the structural engineer for the building. So the day the scaffolding was scheduled to come away from the corners of the building, there was quite a bit of buzz. I mean, construction workers, everybody thought the building might fall down. Because again, this cantilever, this amount of span had not been done to this extent. So as the story goes, Peter Korda was so confident of the structural integrity of the building that as the scaffoldings were being pulled away, he stood under the edge of the cantilever in the front of the building, hard hat on, striking a dramatic pose, I imagine. And as the scaffolding was pulled away, the building is deflected about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm told that that was it, and we remain our still visual iconic building we are today.
Well, this is really impressive from an architectural and a structural standpoint. It's a real monument to what they've accomplished.
It is indeed, and there's more to see. So let's go up and see what all this is actually supporting.
Okay. Oh, what a beautiful space. This is not your father's library.
No, it is spectacular space.
It really is wonderful.
So this is what's resting over top of that open plaza. And this reading room rises up 3 stories. And this space too is just tremendous in showing off, again, the board formed concrete. And we have the coffered ceiling, also known as waffle slab ceiling, and the natural skylights. And the oak library tables were designed purposely for this space.
And it's a working library. People come here to research Ohio's rich history.
We have a tremendous collection. We have historic documents and materials that you can't find anywhere else or can't easily access anywhere else. And so we do have researchers come here and do historic research on their families and on other aspects of Ohio history.
So anybody can come here to do research. Is that right? Anybody's welcome.
Oh yes, absolutely. You just can check the website to schedule an appointment and to also check on current hours.
This has been a great tour, learning about architecture and engineering and design and how this really serves the whole state of Ohio. This one location really has opened everybody in the state. And thanks so much for the tour.
Well, it's a pleasure, Jeff. We love showing off our building.
For over a decade, the Ohio History Connection and the Hopewell Culture National Historical Park through the National Park Service have worked with tribal nations to get 8 Hopewell ceremonial earthworks listed as World Heritage Sites in Ohio.
On March 23, 2022, their hard work paid off when the Hopewell Ceremonial Earthworks was nominated to the UNESCO World Heritage List. If the earthworks are inscribed, as they call it, they would join over 1,100 UNESCO sites, including places like the Great Wall of China, Stonehenge, the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, and Grand Canyon National Park in the U.S.
It would definitely be a great honor to be included on that list. To find out more about the nomination, we're heading back over to the Ohio History Connection.
The Ohio History Connection has been working for years with our partners at Hopewell Culture National Historical Park to have the Hopewell ceremonial earthworks inscribed on the World Heritage List. The Ohio History Connection has 3 sites, the Great Circle and the Octagon earthworks here in Newark, as well as the Fort Ancient earthworks in Warren County. Hopewell Culture National Historical Park has 5 more sites. We think together these 8 sites that make up the Hopewell ceremonial earthworks tell a complete story. It's not just one site here and one site there. This was a sprawling culture that has connections all over Eastern North America.
The way World Heritage works is it's an international treaty, so there's a prescribed process. And each country keeps a tentative list of sites that could be on the World Heritage List in the future. So the first step is actually to get on the tentative list for your country. And this nomination, these 8 sites, were added to the United States tentative list in 2008. Then in 2018, the federal government officially authorized us to prepare the nomination. So we have submitted it at the end of 2021 to the federal government, and they submitted it to UNESCO in Paris. The next steps are we find out whether it's recommended to be inscribed. So inscribed meaning added to the World Heritage List. Then in the summer of 2023, we would hope to be in front of the World Heritage Committee, the 21 countries that make up that committee, and have a vote on whether to inscribe this nomination or not.
I think it's really important to have the descendants of the individuals that actually constructed these earthworks able to talk about what they mean, their significance to the tribes today, and what they would have been used for historically for ceremonial purposes to help educate the broader public.
I had taught at a community college in Missouri for 38.5 years, and at that community college, one of my duties was to increase awareness regarding arts and the humanities. I was traveling to places like the Acropolis and to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia and to pyramids in Egypt, the Great Wall of China, and only later did I realize these were World Heritage Sites. My tribe is located in Oklahoma, and we are the Eastern Shawnee Tribe of Oklahoma. And so for 3 years in studying the Shawnees, obviously I had studied a great deal about the state of Ohio. and had read everything and all the published materials I could. I had come here to visit. I had talked with people, interviewed people, but never once had I seen any mention of Newark earthworks. The only mound that has ever been mentioned at that time was Serpent Mound. Well, at that time, Newark Earthworks was open only one day a year, when Native Americans and others could go and actually walk around and view the earthworks. I was able to go to the wooden platform viewing area and climb up, and because of all of those places that I had seen that were World Heritage Sites, the minute that I looked out and saw what I saw, I knew that I was viewing either the equivalent or, in many cases, something even superior to places that are designated World Heritage Sites. I, within 3 minutes' time, experienced so many different emotions. I was just shocked and amazed and so pleased that they were in existence and that they had not been destroyed, because many mounds in Ohio have been destroyed.
The Hopewell ceremonial earthworks were built by what archaeologists call the Hopewell culture, ancient indigenous Americans that lived here between about AD 1 and 400. They were hunters, fishers, gatherers, and gardeners. They lived in small communities scattered all over here. They didn't live in cities. They don't seem to have had any kind of ruler, any kind of king or pharaoh that would have been able to order them to do this. It seems that these communities came together for probably hundreds of miles around and participated in building these earthworks and then later worshiping at them. These ancient indigenous Americans built the earthworks with very simple technology: pointed sticks, clamshell hose, and baskets. But in spite of that seeming simplicity, the knowledge that's encoded in these earthworks is anything but simple.
Science, mathematics, architecture, geometry, all types of information that it's impossible that they could not have been most intelligent people.
The circumference of the Great Circle here is equal to the perimeter of the square earthwork that it was attached to. The area of the square that the Great Circle was attached to is equal to the area of the observatory circle at the octagon earthworks. Also, the circle and octagon encodes in its architecture alignments to all of the key alignments that define the lunar cycle of rising and setting that takes 18.6 years to complete. So just like the sun, with the northernmost rise of the sun being the summer solstice and the southernmost rise being the winter solstice, at least in the northern hemisphere, the moon has a northernmost rise and a southernmost rise, but every month. And that angle changes from month to month over this period of 18.6 years. So these ancient indigenous Americans must have been very careful sky watchers, recording those movements and encoding them into their architecture, I think because they felt that by linking the earthworks to the rhythms of the cosmos, they were making what happened here even more sacred.
I can't believe that a person can come here to a place like this and not feel a kinship with nature, a kinship with the spirit, and would hope that they would have a reverence for this place. They are entering the realm of Native American spirituality.
Once they're inscribed, there'll probably be an influx of people from all over the world that'll come. And I think there's going to be a lot of infrastructure improvements needed, whether it's roads or whether it's hotels, places to stay, but then there's also the spillovers of what are people going to do when they're not at the sites? What else could they see? Because there's a lot of great things happening around Ohio.
It will increase awareness of Ohio for those people who are World Heritage travelers. There really are people who check the boxes of the list, and that's how they plan their vacations.
This is just the first step of the journey. There's an aspect of it being contagious, that now it's like the flame has been lit and that others are aware of other things in their communities. Maybe they don't have mounds in their communities, but they have other things that had to do with Native Americans, and they are recognizing that and beginning to become active in promoting that. Ohio will always be a special place in my heart. We've been in Oklahoma so long that, yes, Oklahoma is home, but Ohio is our homeland and will always have a special place. And so I can get very emotional and teary-eyed about this, and just can't wait to step over that finish line.
The Ohio History Connection has a vast collection of items donated from all over the state. Many of them are preserved in storage units, but there are some robust collections you can find right in the museum when you visit.
And we had a chance to connect with curator Cliff Eckel at the Ohio History Connection, who highlights one of those collections. But I'm giving you a heads up, it may leave you hungry for some ice cream.
That's good to know.
Hello, Cliff.
Hi, Brent.
How are you doing? Nice to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Well, some organizations like to say they've broken the mold, but here, I don't think Ohio History Connection has done that.
No, Brent, these are all from the Erlenbush ice cream store. These are ice cream molds, and then these are candy molds. And then these are iron rosettes, which would be used to make tiny little bite-sized funnel cakes.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Can we get these now?
Unfortunately, no. The company went out of business in 1957, but they started in operation in 1859.
Wow, they lasted a long time. Where were they?
At 456 South High Street, which is at the corner of Livingston and High.
Oh, wow. So that's right in the heart of the city. And they're making ice cream in 1859 without refrigeration, without cooling and all that kind of thing. How'd they do it?
Well, they would use ice that they harvested from the Scioto River, and they would store the ice through the year in ice houses underground. And they would crush the ice and then use salt, which helps to release the coldness more readily. And they would make the ice cream in small batches.
Just like we do today, churning a tub of ice cream.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, they went to a lot of trouble, but anybody who's had ice cream knows it's worth it.
Well, it was supposedly quite delicious, but it was something that you would have for special occasions.
Was ice cream different in the 1850s than it is now?
Probably you could get something very similar at smaller shops like Grader's or Jenny's. The same kind of very rich, heavy cream ice cream.
So not only was it good ice cream, but it was also kind of artfully and playfully presented.
Exactly.
In all these shapes. What strikes you from these shapes here? What's this tell you?
Well, I like the fact that they were made for holidays all year round. So like even for Christmas time, you wouldn't think of necessarily of having ice cream during cold weather, but obviously they had some Santa Claus molds. So they're really quite detailed on the interior.
Yeah. So you would have somebody hand packing these, I guess, and then pushing them together and...
Exactly.
Okay.
And then in addition to ice cream, it was a confectioner's. So they sold candies, and these are made for marzipan, which people still make. It's almond paste that they would stuff into this, and then you'd hand color with food coloring. And this is what it looks like outside. And then these would make strawberries. And you could make flowers and pears and all different types of fruits and flowers.
This must have been a very popular store to have lasted that long.
By all accounts, it was very well attended. In fact, people would travel from miles away just to come to Erlenbush's.
What was happening in that part of town at this time? Was that a busy part of town?
It was right on the edge of what is now German Village, right just to the south of downtown. And it was near to the canal, not too far from where the National Road would make its jog. So it was very well attended.
When did big dairies get into the business of making ice cream? Any idea?
As soon as you had the ability to transport something perishable like this over long distances, you get some of that in the late 1890s when you would have refrigerated cars. They would use large blocks of ice.
Now, in the 1850s, when this store starts, are people starting to have ice boxes in their houses yet? When do people start getting ice boxes?
It would be a luxury. For someone in the 1850s, wealthier people would have had them, but by later in the century, it would be fairly common. And they were fairly common all the way through to World War II. In fact, it was till after World War II when most people had electric refrigerators, even though they were available from the 1920s.
Yeah, I think you still think of, during the Depression, kids following the ice wagon, you know, and getting a chunk of ice and that sort of thing. I suspect every now and then the staff here breaks this stuff out and for an office party fills these up with ice cream and uses them, right?
No, these are part of our permanent collections, and one of the things that we do to preserve things is you don't use them in their original function. So you don't wear the garments, you don't play the musical instruments, because you want to preserve them for many generations to come.
Well, if you ever make an exception for these, let me know. I'll come back and help test them out, okay?
All right then.
Thanks, Cliff.
Thanks for being with us. And remember, you can catch all our episodes on columbusneighborhoods.org. Plus, see our stories on the WOSU mobile app.
And you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll see you back here next week on Columbus Neighborhoods.
I'm not who I was before. My bags are packed there by the door, and I'm not gonna take your lies. You hurt me for the last time, and I don't wanna love like this. Baby, I just wanna feel a kiss that'll last forever.